Daredevil Born Again Season 2, Episode 2 and 3 review. Let's get right into this. So Episode 2 is titled Shoot the Moon, and Episode 3 is titled The Scales and the Sword. So let me just say this, my general overall thoughts. I actually enjoyed these two episodes very much. So much so that I actually think both of them are better than Episode 1. Even though I enjoyed Episode 1, I don't think I was over the moon about it, as just like how most people I feel like were, but I still enjoyed it. But Episodes 2 and 3, man, they're so good. And I know some people were saying, some people like the critics or whoever, like the influencers who got to watch early, they were saying that 2 and 3, like the first 3 or 4 episodes, were slow. Like these have been great, especially 2 and 3. I'd say like this is already pretty eventful stuff that's going on. Pretty good action. Actually, very good action. I'm not saying good. Is very, very good action too. Like everything that you want is already in these first 3 episodes. So if I'm already enjoying these, right, and if you're the same as me, if you're already enjoying these, then imagine what's going to be in store for next week. Because apparently Episode 4, I know some people are kind of saying 5 is where it starts, but generally speaking, I think people who have already seen the episodes are saying that 4 is where the madness kind of starts to kick off, and like in a good way, where the season starts to ramp up and go absolutely crazy. Like even now, I already think it's pretty crazy. But then from here, we're gonna get, I guess, probably the team up with Bullseye, and like him potentially join the Resistance. We'll see about that. Also, the Mayor Fisk, like the boxing fight, that's probably gonna be next episode. It's looking like. What else is there? Obviously, Jessica Jones. We'll see more, how much more of the Defender stuff they lean into. But yeah, the crazy stuff is still is still on the horizon, starting next week. But in terms of these 2 episodes, like I said, I like them quite a bit. And there's some notes I wrote here that I want to go over for each episode. So I'll try going in order of Episode 2 and then 3, but I'll probably bounce around a bit because, let me say this, Episode 3 ending, absolutely insane. Perfect, they nailed that. Okay, but for Episode 2, let me say this. So a big question I was wondering, just for the overall series of Daredevil Born Again, but particularly Season 2, was like, are they gonna, like, because we know Bullseye's gonna be like a main, or is one of the main folks of the season, at least that's what it seems like to me. I'd say, I'm like, okay, they gotta address the Season 3 stuff. Like, there's no way, especially when we saw the promo footage of Bullseye who's gonna be in the church. I'm like, come on, is it gonna actually be the church or whatever? Like what's going on here? Like, they gotta address the continuity stuff. Like, it's a big elephant in the room, and guess what? They did. So we not only do we find out that the church, because they showed in this episode, or beginning of Episode 2, that Bullseye is in the church and he's there looking for Sister Maggie. He literally name drops her, and then I don't know, that I've heard the person said, I'm not even, I think it was a kid, right? He said he's not even a priest or anything. He's not really he doesn't really have that status yet, so he can't really help Bullseye, because Bullseye's asking pretty much, I think, for forgiveness or something along the lines of that. Like he's trying to repent, if I'm not wrong. I might be wrong, but that's the point. He was trying to go there to I won't say reform stuff, but you know what I mean. Besides the point, then he asked about Sister Maggie, and then the person's like, yeah, Sister Maggie is gonna be is on a sabbatical for a year and wherever, abroad. And I'm like, okay, this perfectly addressed the question, because I guess they didn't have time to get her in this season, maybe, but they knew that they had to address it this season. And also, this gives me hope that maybe next season we'll see, because they said year, right? And if you go on the show, obviously, they do yearly, annual season. But what I'm saying is, I think there's a good chance we might see Sister Maggie in Season 3 of Daredevil Born Again, which will be very hype. We need to bring that. Sister Maggie's a great character, and also the whole reveal about, I mean, if you haven't seen the series, I won't really spoil it, but there's a reveal about her, okay, in particular, in connection to Daredevil, which is very huge. And this is I don't know how in Born Again Season 1 they didn't just kind of ignore that, and but also, yeah, this is good, and it's also established the same church, the exact same church. Unless I'm reading it wrong, they also established that. So yeah, that really put a smile to my face. I'm like, this is exactly what I wanted. I wanted to see Sister Maggie, and or at least name drop, mention, it's come on, can't ignore that, and they did. So. Whether we see her or not down the line in the next season, maybe later on this season she makes a return. I don't know, but regardless, I hope we see her in the future. But if we don't, at least this has been addressed, right? Just from that one scene alone. So there's that. And the next thing is that, let me see here. So in the episode there's the invasion at Josie's, and that was, I'm like, wow, I mean, I did see some of the marketing for that, but it was very intense. It was that one of the clips we've kind of been seeing for a few weeks now. But it was so good. It was so good. It was so good. Seeing the whole context of it as well, it was so good. And then especially at the end there, where when you see like obviously Matt's fighting all the task force off, but then also Karen, she kind of goes through like the back exit, whatever, the alleyway, and then there's a task force member there, and then she pretty much just like knocks him out, boom boom, and later we find at the end of the episode, she's like to Matt, yeah, I got a little pretty much like surprise for you. And then it's revealed that she actually has kind of like kidnapped the task force member. And she's pretty much just saying like along the lines like we need to do this. Pretty much like if they're playing dirty, we kind of got to play dirty as well. And yeah, like we got to send a message. And then obviously Matt is against that, of course. But then in the next episode, right? I think it's in episode 3. It's kind of revealed that that task force member is actually a good guy. He has good intentions. He doesn't agree with what the task force is doing. So it kind of does prove, I guess, that if you want to look at the messaging of that, which is not, there's still some good people, like a whole population or a whole group of people does not represent, every person in that group, right? Just because a few people, or not few, well, they're in terms of the task force, most of them are pretty corrupt and bad people, but there's still, the rare, some like, good people in there, like this guy. And yeah, he wants to actually join pretty much the resistance. And this is kind of the episode this scene kind of solidified where you're kind of seeing a shift in terms of, I feel like Fisk losing power. It's kind of right now still low key, I'd say. But you see it even in episode 3 when they break out, or when Matt pretty much goes to like, what is it? Red Hook, right? Redport. I forgot the name of it. But he just breaks out everyone that's been detained illegally, right? And then you see it's kind of like, I'm like, this is definitely setting up that scene where later on we're going to see in the season where like Daredevil, the whole resistance is going to have such a big following. Everyone's going to be supporting, showing out. Like that will literally be the reason why Fisk is the demise, right? Because what Fisk is doing right now is, obviously, I mean, there's propaganda everywhere. And this is dividing, right? His goal is to make everyone divided. And then even with the trial, get people distracted, just so that people, if they're united, right, that's how he's going to get defeated. But eventually, it's going to happen. We're slowly seeing it. We're slowly seeing the beginning of it, right? So that's what I want to say there. So that was very good. And let me see, what else do I have here? Heather as Muse. We're seeing that more and more. And it's like, even she low-key kind of like spooked Vanessa. I mean, that's how I would interpret it. I mean, obviously Vanessa was also thinking about Bullseye, just being stressed about him. And I feel like it's also hinting at the fact that Bullseye will eventually just slime out Vanessa. It kind of seems inevitable, the way they're writing it, the way they're showing it. I just don't see any world where he really doesn't. And it's like, I guess we'll see about that. That's what I want to say at that point. But yeah, Heather as Muse, you're seeing her slowly, even with her interaction with Kirsten and stuff. Like, she's just like very aggressive in her nature now. She kind of like always seems on edge, which like to a degree is understandable because of like, she had that whole traumatic event happen to her. She also has like PTSD from it. But eventually it starts going into the thing where she's literally becoming the villain, right? She was supposed to help people, but now she's just cooking the books, right? She's like defending Fisk, working for Fisk as well. And yeah, just like her whole demeanor's changed. And she's like, even when they show the shot for like, like with the like looking at the Muse suit, I'm like, yeah, that is literally the definition of foreshadowing that she'll become Muse. So there's that. And let me see here. So Gallo's death, right? As we know, season 1, at the end of season 1, Gallo, he just gets slimed out by Fisk, literally like the most gruesome death we've seen. Pretty much to this point, I'd say. And then we find out season 2 kind of, they expand on it more by the fact that Fisk is actually just, he cooked it. Obviously, in typical Fisk fashion, he got it to look like a setup, or he set it up to look like he died in a car accident. And his body's there all mangled. You see his face, yeah, it's pretty gruesome. So I do like how they kind of had that continuity from the first season. And also alongside that, paired with that, is the whole thing about the leaker. Who's leaking the information, right? And we all know, I mean, it's literally shown as Daniel. He's leaking it. Technically speaking, yeah. He's leaking it. And also that BB is the one who's, right? BB was the one who's doing the whole, I guess, anti-Fisk, propaganda. So that was good as well. And let me see here. Bullseye. Yeah, I already talked the Bullseye Vanessa thing. And for Cherry, we do see that obviously he gets medical attention. The beginning of the episode 2 picks up directly from where he left off, and he gets stretchered out. The police, NYPD's there. And even later on in the episode, we see that, of course, in typical Fisk fashion, just like season 3, he tries his cleanup, right? Go to send people to the hospital, in this case, task force, and just get rid of loose ends, aka get rid of Cherry. But the NYPD was there, they're standing firm, even the retired officers. And then by the time they got reinforcements to come, Cherry was already, him and everyone, they were dead. So I love that. And look, it's insane how one episode, just from season 2, episode 1, we all care about Cherry so much more, right? I don't know, I feel there's still some people want him slammed out, but me, no. And it's insane, like, even episodes 2 and 3, they do such a good job, the writers, at making you actually care for these side characters. Like, they're actually doing their own things. They're not dependent, they're not reliable, they're not relying on Matt, Daredevil, for just to be in every scene with them, right? They actually have their own things going on, and we actually care about them now, right? So that's also another good thing. And let me see here. Oh, and then there was like one of the most heartbreaking moments in episode 2, where you pretty much see Angela, and she's with her aunt, and they go into this convenience store or whatever to get something, and these kids are stealing, etc., whatever. And long story short, the owner is sick of it. He whips out a gun. He's like a shotgun. He's about to go crazy on him. And then Angela's aunt's like, "No, just stop. What are you doing? There's kids." And then the task force comes in. Of course, they come in that time as soon as the guy has the shotgun out. They hit him in the head, detain him, and then they also detain the kids. And then they also detain Angela's aunt because, these guys, man, they just love violence, abusing the law. It's actually crazy. And it's just heartbreaking because you see all these people, right, getting yoinked from society just unlawfully, really, right? Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. And you see the people protesting there too. It's just really sad. And also the most heartbreaking part is that Angela's already lost one person, right, in her family, the White Tiger, of course, to the task force, and now she was losing another person, her aunt, and she doesn't know if she's gonna ever see her again, right? So like that, just dividing families like that. So yes, it's absolutely heartbreaking to see, and especially when you tie it into like the relevancy, like for real life events, right? So I thought that was very well done. And Angela's like, even and then in episode 3 they expand on her character as well. She gets even better. Like, this is great. Season 1 didn't really care for as much either. She just goes for the case of just like every other side character. Season 1. Let me see here. What else do we have? I think those are the main things from episode 1 that I want to talk about here. And in terms of episode 2, we see, like I said, anti-vigilante task force joining the resistance. And then one of the main things of the episode is the building up and then also showing the whole, I guess, trial case, whatever, of Swordsman. And we know that he's not getting a fair chance. He's not getting fair trial, anything, any due diligence, due justice, whatever you want to call it. It's not fair to him. Okay, his case is absolutely cooked by Fisk. The task force is just, everything is corrupt. And then Kirsten's put in a bad spot as well, and she knows she's going to lose the case. And this is bad. This is really bad. It's absolutely cooked, and it just shows that Fisk obviously is trying to distract everyone in the media from like other things he's doing, and he's really just playing the media well. He's playing them. The media is just, the media. They play into it right in your hands, right? Like, you can just throw the media anything, and these guys will most of them will twist and turn it. And you're seeing it here. Just the misinformation, everything's going insane. The framing as well. Framing is a very important thing. But that's one of the things. And then obviously it's inevitable. The case, Kirsten loses the case, and they find Swordsman guilty, even though it literally doesn't make any sense. It's like there's nothing to even back it up, really. And on top of that, Heather contributed to it because she cooked the books. when she did like the report or whatever, she literally lied on it. She changed the stuff just so that they could, pretty much get swordsmen where they wanted them. And I will say this, like, yeah, the criminal justice system just, they make it pretty apparent that Mayor Fisk, he has a hold on that. And also, I do find like one detail that was very, very good, very interesting. Aside from like the whole overall like, feeling, the tone of the season, these episodes, and also like the whole aesthetic, I'm absolutely loving it. But one of the details, so when we see the first judge come in, and she's like taking pills, whatever, something's going off her. But then, as she's sitting down, you see kind of her looking before she sits down, looking at the back, at the text or whatever, the writing on the wall, where it says along the lines of, truth is great and shall prevail, or something like that. Yes, something along about the truth, right? The truth coming out, right? And that's what the criminal justice system is supposed to be about, right? You're getting a fair shot to prove it, and it's supposed to be that, the truth gets revealed. Hopefully, the goal was supposed to be the innocent are freed, right? But as we know, that's not the case, right? Neither in in the show or in real life, right? The criminal justice system is cooked. So I really like how they're tackling, I guess, the legal system this season, and like just the broader, system inequality. Sorry. So yeah, it just goes back to showing the strong writing. And then another thing here, let me see. Matt and Karen, they pretty much discussed the Punisher, and if I'm not wrong, they're at his hideout. That's what it even looked like in the marketing. And Karen kind of just said like, "Oh yeah, we should get if Punisher's here, he was clearing them out. He would be just going crazy, like making it so easy." And then Matt obviously was absolutely disgruntled at this. He was like, "Really? That's not how you go about it." And just typical Daredevil fashion. And then, like I said, swordsman trial was a very big thing. And let me see, what else do I have here? And then lastly, the last 10 to 15 minutes when you see Daredevil breaking out everyone from the Red Hook? Absolute cinema. Those last 10 15 minutes of the episode. And it all begins, like, it really ramps up the ending. It begins from when Daredevil interacts with Kirsten, right? Pretty much like lures her through Karen back to her office, right, at the law firm. And I thought there maybe Matt was gonna reveal himself, right? But no, he didn't. And I'm like, you know what? That makes sense, because it didn't feel like it would be like worth it, right? They didn't really build up that much to that yet. But I do see that happening this season, where Kirsten, it'll be revealed to her that Matt is Daredevil. And also the whole sequence, I'm kind of jumping back to episode 2, where Fisk, he plays it smart. He doesn't want to he plays it very strategical in the way he's like, I don't want, Buck is like, why don't you just reveal that? Why don't you just reveal that Matt Murdock is Daredevil? And he's like, and Fisk like the optics. And then little do you know, he has something in his bag to where both sides were now looking for him, right? The people that hate him, the people that hate Daredevil, and the people that love Matt Murdock, right? If I'm not wrong. That's pretty much the way they set it up as. And also another thing in these episodes that I noticed was that, it's looking more and more likely that Daniel's cooked. Daniel, Vanessa, I feel like right now those are two people who I would say are the most cooked that I could see dying in the season. It seems like the writing's on the wall. And for Bullseye, we saw him in episode 2, and if I'm not wrong, we didn't see him in episode 3. Like we didn't actually see that much of Bullseye. So episode 4, I'm assuming is the one where obviously we know it's going to start ramping up. But it's probably going to be the episode where we see obviously Mayor Fisk, the boxing match. I'm guessing that'll be in it, because they said like this weekend, so that has to be it. One of the things. And also maybe we get the scenes where it's more Bullseye centric. I don't know if it's episode 4, episode 5. Maybe the one with the whole ice cream and him fighting the task force there, etc. We'll see, but I feel like we're getting close to that. We gotta be getting more Bullseye. And even the way they tease how Bullseye will be coming for Vanessa, this is great stuff. I like it. It's pretty obvious foreshadowing. I could be wrong. They could have like a bigger twist in there where it's something else happens, right? And it's not actually Bullseye killing them. I could be wrong. But yeah, the last 10-15 minutes, like I said, very good. And even there, like, it's so exhilarating when, I mean, when Matt is literally breaking into pretty much the detention center, and he's like sneaking in there. I'm like, okay, this is sick. And they're kind of showing like how, like, what Kirsten experienced and how he's pretty much memorizing that, like from the drips of the water, the sounds and everything. I'm like, yeah, this is amazing, absolute cinema. And then once he goes in there, he starts fighting the two task force members, easily takes them out, and then he just frees everyone. And then the alarms go off. I'm like, oh my god! And then Swordsman is there, he's helping out too. And you even see there, if I'm not wrong, Matt does end up killing some of the task force members, which I'm like, oh shoot, this is how you know it's like really serious. And then and then you have Swordsman helping him out, of course, and they get to the outside, and then and there's like a little scene between Angela and Karen, and that was great. I mean, I'm not gonna go much detail about that, just because not much else to say besides it's great. It got me happy as well, and it makes perfect sense connecting from season 1 to 2, and also her aunt now. But then you see everyone everyone's outside, and then task force is like, yeah, just shoot the prisoners. I'm like, wow, typical, man, typical task force. This guy has to stoop even lower. When you think it can't get any lower, just go even lower. And then I'm like, oh shoot, what's gonna happen here? Are they cooked? No. Karen and Angela come in with the whole, like, the big souped up armored vehicle that task force use, and they just start putting everyone in it. I'm like, great, this is going good. And Angela even like popped the tires of some task force members. So like she's really contributing here. I'm like, wow, this is another character that I'm loving now, compared to season 1 where I'm like, what is going on here? What is really the value of this character? What's their purpose? Like, what do they bring to the story? Right? It's like all the side characters I care about. Kirsten, didn't care about in season 1. Now I do. Jerry as well. Angela as well. Definitely, yeah, a lot of them. And also going back to episode 2 and even 3, it looking more and more likely that what I predicted in episode 1 review, that Buck is going to end up killing Daniel. I'm telling you right now. It's just on the wall. Like, there's so much, like, good, like, the writing is so good, man. God, writing's so good. But yeah, then pretty much everyone gets freed. I'm like, this is great. It's exhilarating. And they get away. I'm like, okay, this is good. What's going to happen here now? Because Swordsman is driving it, taking everyone, and then Angela and all the other prisoners, and the rest of the people, and their prisoners in the back. Okay, that's there. And then you got Matt and Karen obviously going their own way, and they're kind of just on the freeway, highway, whatever you want to call it. And then that's where Fisk pretty much makes the call to just get rid of the whole crew that they had. And I could tell that they were foreshadowing it earlier on the episode. And even when you remember referring it back to the episode 1 conversation that Fisk had with Mr. Charles, they made it really clear that they were just going to make the whole crew expendable, like by just having like these other people from pretty much, abroad, and just each time they have them do the work, just get rid of them. And this is what they did. Fisk played his cards right again, I'd say, and he was ready for in case Matt try to do what he did, break everyone out, which he successfully did. And now because of that, Matt, your actions have consequences, right? Even if you're the good guy, your actions have consequences. And Fisk, what does he do once he finds out that Matt freed everyone? He's like, yeah, the whole Northern Star. I think it was the Northern Star. Yeah, everything, the whole ship, all the people that are even near it, all the workers that are, just want to go home, that have nothing to really do with this. They're all dying. The big explosion, everything is just on fire, and the way the terror on Matt and Karen's face, it's just it's just priceless. And then Matt further realized, like, he's in shock, and he realized, oh shoot, he killed them. Fisk literally kills them, and it's technically because of them, right? So the whole moral dilemma there. And now we're gonna see how these characters, especially Matt and Karen, are gonna have to hold the weight, the burden, right, of all of those people that died. Right. So I'm going to see how this segues into the next week's episode. So yeah, like, it's very good stuff. So I'll leave it there. Very, very good episodes. I enjoyed them quite a bit. Thought they were better than episode 1. But yeah, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section down below. What do you think about these 2 episodes, and how excited are you about episode 4 of Daredevil Born Again season 2? Anyways, thanks for watching. I'll see you next one. Peace.